Wheels is brought to you by FMF Motorcycle Exhaust Systems. And 100% goggles for 100% vision. Welcome to the show. This week, Bill Hunter is riding a new Moto Guzzi bobber. And later on, some heavy motocross action. Hold on tight.
Before I picked this bike up from Cayenne at Kyle Army, I did a little bit of research on the old internet. And I discovered that Moto Guzzi are the third longest running continuous production making brand of motorcycles ever. Now you're going to scratch your head now and go, so which is first and second? Well, first is an American brand, Harley Davidson of course. Second, interestingly, is Royal Enfield. But we're talking about Moto Guzzi today, and they're over 100 years old and full of history. They've won over 3,000 races since they've been in competitive racing, and they were the first manufacturer to ever make a wind tunnel for a motorcycle back in the 50s, where they made that amazing V8 thing. I haven't got a V8, but I've got the traditional V-twin transverse Moto Guzzi engine, and this is the brand new 2016 V9 bobber. Why is it called a V9? Well, it's 900cc. Well, it's not. It's 853cc, and it's a bobber. Bobbers were, way back in the 50s, where they used to make them as minimalist as possible, and this is what this one's all about. There's all sorts of segments in the market at the minute. We've got scramblers, we've got cafe racers, well, and this one is a bobber. And it's all about the retro style, which is coming back heavily at the minute, because what use is a 300 km/h motorcycle on the road? Not that much. So these, with the traffic building up daily as we speak, sort of make sense in the real world. So the old V9 bobber is 853cc with a claimed, wait for it, 55 horsepower. Not too much, but it makes a lot of low-down torque at 3,000 RPM. Shaft drive, air-cooled, so you can service it with a knife and fork, I'd imagine. So the longevity is there, and Moto Guzzi's famous name will always keep you supported. Listen to the birdies, even they like it. So even though it's old school, the modern touches are all the electronics. So you can pair this thing with your phone and interfere with it in that way. Traction control and all the other information that, you know, average fuel consumption, stuff like that. I do wonder why do you need traction control with 55 horsepower? But let's have a look around the bike. Big fat tyres give it the thing, 16-inch front wheel, 130 section front tyre, which is massive. And surprisingly, even with these matching fat tyres, it does turn surprisingly quickly. And while you're riding quickly, I mean, the thing will only do 160 kilometers an hour, I'd imagine, flat out, but it's all about the image. The Brembo brakes will always support you when you get to that sort of speed, because I have no problems with that. Of course, we have ABS as well. So who's the sort of person that's going to buy this? Well, you've got Harley Davidson 1200 Sportsters, the Triumph range, all that sort of thing. So if someone's looking for Italian flair, stripped down, minimal, with this, then you probably swing towards the Moto Guzzi brand. But at just under 160,000 rand, it's not particularly cheap for what you get. But when is any Italian vehicle cheap, car or bike? It isn't, is it? When I first got on the V9 bobber, as they say in France, I was a bit, this isn't really for me. But I fiddled around with the electronics and found out it was in the low power mode, and I took the traction control off, and then suddenly things started to gel a little bit better. Look, the seat's rock hard, and the suspension is a bit too stiff for me as well, but I have no bum left at my age, so that's probably the reason. But it does grow on you, this sort of bike, and I think after spending a little while setting it up, it starts to make sense. And don't forget, this is to replicate the old retro style bikes of the 70s and 80s. And were they ever comfortable? No. In summary, I could pick a lot of faults with this bike, but let's be honest, I can pick a lot of faults because I'm a moaning old git with many motorcycles. But this does have a certain appeal because wherever I stopped, it did attract an awful lot of the public going, wow, what's this, Moto Guzzi? So on that side of it, it does have that appeal that everyone wants to go, wow, and it is special looking, which I suppose it is in a way. What is it? Well, I can see the attraction for this sort of bike, and mainly the name. Moto Guzzi with that distinct knee warmer cylinder sticking out will always be in everyone's heart of motorcycle. So looking for something different in the cruiser, retro, funky, cool market, then perhaps have a look at the V9 Bobber. It might be right up your alley. I've got to agree, the front tyre on this Moto Guzzi is absolutely massive. I mean, look at the size of it. But it handles surprisingly well. Even with a tyre of this size, it does turn really well. And I've been told this front tyre will last 74 million kilometres. Fantastic.